Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your humble host, Crime Time, and today we're back with a brand new video. Please make sure you like and subscribe on this channel and my first channel, which is Save Our Children TV. Like, comment, subscribe on my platforms so you'll be notified when I drop videos. Today we're talking about a serial killer by the name of Henry Mansfield Howard, who's better known as Dr. H. Holmes, which stands for Henry Howard Holmes, who is an American con artist and serial killer, the subject of more than 50 lawsuits in Chicago alone. So let's go to the Wikipedia. I'm going to read up on this is him right here. Let's see, so he killed one, and it was confirmed that 9 total was suspected. So he suspected to kill 9. Despite his confession of 27 murders, including some people who were still alive, while awaiting execution, Holmes was convicted and sentenced to death for only one murder, that of accomplice and business partner Benjamin Pizzo. It is believed he killed 3 of Pizzo's children as well as 3 mistresses. The child of one of the said mistresses and the sister of another. Holmes was executed on May 7th, 1896, 9 days before his 35th birthday. Much of the lore surrounding the murder castle, along with many of his alleged crimes, are considered likely exaggerated or fabricated for sensationalistic tabloid pieces. Many of these factual inaccuracies have persisted due to the combination of ineffective police investigation and hyperbolic stable journalism, which are often cited as historical record. Holmes gave various contradictory accounts of his life, initially claiming innocence and later that he was possessed by Satan. His propensity for lying has made it difficult for researchers to ascertain the truth of the basis of the statements. Since the 1990s, Holmes has often been described as a serial killer. However, Adam Sulzer points out in his book on Holmes, just killing several people isn't necessarily enough for most definitions of a serial killer. More often, it has to be a series of similar crimes committed over a period of time, usually more to satisfy a psychological urge on the killer's part than any more particular motive, and that the murders can connect him. Holmes generally had a clear getting in his way and couldn't be trusted. The murders weren't simply for love of bloodshed, but a necessary part of the furthering his swindling operations and protecting his lifestyle. So his victims exactly. Capture, arrest, trial, and execution. Holmes' murder spree finally ended when he was arrested in Boston on November 17, 1894, after being tracked there from Philadelphia by the private Pinkerton National Detective Agency. He was held on an outstanding warrant for horse theft in Texas. because the authorities had become more suspicious at this point, and Holmes appeared poised to flee the country in the company of the suspecting third wife. In July of 1895, following the discovery of Ellis and Nellie's bodies, Chicago police and reporters began investigating Holmes' building in Inglewood, now locally referred as the Castle. Through many sensational claims were made, no evidence was found which could have convicted Holmes in Chicago. According to sources, stories of torture, equipment from Holmes on 20th century fiction. In October of 1895, Holmes was put on trial for the murder of Benjamin Pizzo and was found guilty and sentenced to death. By then, it was evident Holmes has also murdered three missing Pizzo children. Following his conviction, Holmes confessed to the 27 murders in Chicago, Indiana. So, Holmes confessed to 27 murders in Chicago, Indianapolis, and Toronto. Though some people he confessed to murdering still alive in 6 attempted murders. Holmes was paid $7,500 by the Hearst newspaper in exchange for a confession, which he was quickly found to be mostly nonsense. While writing his confession in prison, Holmes mentioned how drastically his facial appearance had changed since his imprisonment. On May 7, 1896, Holmes was hanged at Moyamensing Prison, also known as the Philadelphia County Prison, for the murder of Pizzo. Until the moment of his death, Holmes remained calm and amenable, showing brief signs of fear, anxiety, or depression. Despite this, he asked for his coffin to be contained in cement and buried 10 feet deep, because he was concerned for protection. Holmes' back did not break. He instead strangled to death slowly 15 minutes before Benjamin was dead, just after the trap had been spun. Upon his execution, Holmes' body was interred in an unmarked grave at Holy Cross Cemetery, a Catholic cemetery in Philadelphia, western suburb of Indian. On New Year's Eve, 1909, Hedgiff, who had been pardoned for appointment on Holmes, was shot and killed by police officer Edward Dribbick during a holdup at a Chicago saloon. On March 7, 1914, the Chicago Tribune reported that with the death of Patrick Quinn, the former caretaker of the castle, the mysteries of Holmes' castle will remain unexplained. Quinn had committed suicide by taking extraction. His body was found in the bedroom with a note that read, "I couldn't sleep." Quinn's surviving relatives claimed he had been hunted for 7 months and was suffering from hallucinations. The castle itself was mysteriously gutted by fire in August 1895. A country newspaper clipping from New York Times was seen entering the back of the building between 8 and 9 p.m. About half an hour later, they were seen exiting the building and rapidly running away, following several explosions. The castle went up in flames. Afterwards, investigators have empty gas can and the backstab of the building. The building suffered the fire and remained in use until it was torn down in 1938. The site is occupied by the Inglewood branch of the United States Postal Service. In 2017, amid allegations Holmes had in fact escaped execution, Holmes' body was exhumed for testing lab by Janet Moon of the University of Pennsylvania Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology. Due to his coffin being contained in cement, his body was found not to have decomposed normally. His clothes were almost perfectly preserved, and his mustache was found to be intact. The body was positively identified by his teeth as being that of Holmes. Holmes was then reburied. Back then, this happened back in 19. This happened back in the 1800s. So back in the 1800s, we didn't have death row like they had death row. They had hanging. We have hanging. We don't have hanging or the gun range now. Now, bring back the shooting range. Now we have lethal injection and the electric chair. Back then, they didn't have some of that stuff. Um, Holmes went on a murder spree through three different parts of the state and killed people and confessed. So this guy was a person. He was convicted of stealing a horse. Um, so he was hanged in 1896. So decades. It's been a long time. Comment, subscribe, turn your notification on, to your bells on, do all that. To be notified about that video. Let me know down below what you think about the story of infamous killer H.H. Holmes, better known as Webster Mugget, and better known as Dr. Henry Howard Holmes.